The worst thing I would say, I'm not 100% certain what this man was trying to do to me, but there was a man that attacked me one night. He was trying as hard as he could to pull me out of the wheelchair. He had his arms around my rib cage. I really couldn't reach my blades that I have on me at the time. I ended up basically just doing what I could. I guess my arms had built up a lot of strength in the wheelchair. I just wrapped my arms around him and squeezed as hard as I could until eventually he actually passed out.
You got me trapped inside this spell. Now I feel like your demons drag me close to hell. I can feel that.
My name is Phoenix.
Nice to meet you. How you doing this morning?
Cold, as always. In the wintertime, it's always cold. But
I'm so sorry to hear that.
it's always good to have a cigarette and someone nice to talk to,
So can you please tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, your age, where you originally from?
Yes, I grew up in Brooklyn, actually, in Flatbush. I'm 36, just had my birthday on December 20th, actually, just a few days ago.
Are you a Sagittarius?
That I am.
And she's from New York, just like me, and I'm a Sagittarius December 1st. So go ahead, I ain't gonna steal your shine.
Yep, we are some fiery people, as Sagittarius.
So
nice people, good people, but boy, we got a bad temper, unfortunately.
Yeah, don't mess with us, that's all. So tell us a little bit about your childhood.
Well, my childhood was excellent. Even though I was growing up in Flatbush, Brooklyn in the 80s when it was getting rough out there because you had crack coming on the scene, you had some major gang activity going down. So even though it was a little rough, my father treated me very, very well. And I had an excellent childhood. I actually dreamed of becoming a doctor for most of my life. Actually graduated, was ready to go into the medical field, only to find out on graduation day I am not legally allowed to hold a medical license due to my mental illness. So that basically blew up my entire life right there.
Wow.
I won't get into how extraordinarily angry I was over that. Luckily, the agencies were able to help me get all of my student loan debt forgiven due to that fact, but there's nothing else they could really do for me.
Okay, what are some of your favorite childhood memories?
Oh God, I think one of the best ones was my father has an issue. I call him the bitch slap master. I remember being maybe 6 or 7, getting pulled over by some cop while we were driving. My father, it had just gotten dusky. My father had replaced his lights, all of the lights on his vehicle, the night before, and I had helped him do that, which was a good time to spend with him. But we got pulled over by an officer that came up to his window, and when asked why we were pulled over, he said our rear license plate light was out. Knowing that that could not be the case since it had just been changed, my father just bulldozed his way out of the car against the officer's wishes, walked around to the back, saw that the light was completely fine and working, and bitch slapped the guy right across the face. My father's not that big of a guy, so I guess it embarrassed the officer, which is why he didn't pursue it. I was a little worried about my father being arrested, but the officer kind of brushed it off, said it was a mistake, which of course it wasn't. He was just being a dick. And we went on our way, but I thought the situation was hilarious. Wonderful memory.
So tell us about your current situation, how you ended up out here in Kensington.
Well, I moved here actually because my landlord in Brooklyn had written some legalese into my lease, allowing him to increase the rent when he wanted to, even though that's not supposed to be the case. I moved here because it was cheaper. And I lived actually right on Kensington, right down there by Kensington and Clearfield for quite a while. Had a situation with my husband screwing up our rent, but that's not what really caused the problem. Elle and I shut our building down. I don't know why they shut people's buildings down without making other arrangements for them. I think that's a little messed up. But unfortunately, that seems to be the way it is. So I ended up out here.
What was your first reaction to Kensington when you got here for the first time?
Well, honestly, because of where I grew up, it really feels like home here for me. I grew up in a rough area, and honestly, it was way, way rougher than this. So honestly, it feels kind of like home to me. The bigger situation is what myself and thousands of others are suffering through every day due to the medical situation in this country. I am a chronic pain patient. I am in a wheelchair due to the fact that I have progressive necrosis in both lower legs, set off by a genetic metabolic disorder. Basically, that means my legs are dying. My lower legs are literally dying while I'm still alive and able to feel every bit of it. So the pain from that is indescribable. Non-stop, 24-hour a day, constant pain. And you would think that that would be treated. It's not. In this country, you cannot get proper pain treatment anymore unless you have money falling out of both ears and your ass. If you do not have money, good luck getting your pain treated properly. It is absolutely impossible. So myself and thousands of other chronic pain patients in this country have been forced to either suffer, kill yourself, or find your pain control on the streets. I tried to kill myself twice and it didn't work. So I've come out, like thousands of others, to be forced to get pain control for myself. It's a sad state of affairs, but no one seems to be doing anything about it. Well, I have no choice but to come out and seek fentanyl, because there was once where I went with my father to Canada, and I had to get medical treatment there, of course. I went to a shitty hole-in-the-wall free clinic, and it looked like a shitty hole-in-the-wall free clinic, but to my shock and surprise, they treated me better than anyone has ever treated me here. One of the things that they prescribed for me was a skin patch, almost like a nicotine patch, called a Duragesic. It is a fentanyl transdermal skin patch that has 72 hours straight medication. So basically, this controls your pain all throughout that entire time, to where the pain levels don't fluctuate and you're able to sleep through the night and function much better. Thinking that surely my doctors here would see that this regimen was working and prescribe it to me as well, I returned to the U.S. with my records, presented them to my doctor, who immediately declined to do anything regarding that medication and put me back on the medications that did not work. After seeking help from many other doctors that said the same thing, I basically told them to go fuck themselves and came out here to find it myself.
So with a drug like fentanyl, do you know what is being mixed in it?
That is the one major issue, is you never really know exactly what is being mixed in with it. The only thing I can do is be as safe as I can. I do have quite a bit of chemistry knowledge. I make sure that I sterilize and heat everything I do to about 200 degrees, making certain that it is free of bacteria, and it also coagulates out many of the insoluble compounds so I can filter them out and not inject strange insoluble things into my body that I don't know what they are, of course. But like I said, without the ability to use lab testing, you really do not have any idea what is actually in it, unfortunately.
So are you okay with the fact that you know this drug will eventually take your life one day?
Well, I hope that I can take care of the things I'd like to take care of in this world before that happens. But like I said, with the pain the way it is, honestly, I really don't care at the moment. But when I tried to use a massive, and I do mean massive dose at once just to end my pain. I don't want to die particularly. I just don't want to be in pain. But like I said, it didn't work. Maybe I'm just naturally more tolerant than others, and that can happen. Many people are naturally more tolerant to certain substances than others. So I'm not really that worried about ODing.
How many bags of fentanyl do you use a day, would you say?
That depends entirely on what kind of pain I'm having per day. Some days I can get by on maybe 4. Other days I'm upwards of 10, sometimes even more, depending on the severity of the pain, which fluctuates over time always.
In a day average, how much do you think you spend on fentanyl?
About $30 to $35 average, I would say.
How do you go about getting your money to buy it?
Well, just like I get my money for my meals and clothing and medical supplies and everything else, I have to rely on the generosity of others due to the fact that no one is willing to hire me because of my severe mental illness.
Do you get any money from the government?
Not yet. Now, I am pursuing that. I am fighting for disability benefits, which I rightly should have. However, they have denied me over and over again. I've been told by other applicants that you get denied as many times as they can get away with. I'm not exactly sure why they've been denying me over and over, but I'm going to continue to pursue it until it is granted.
So we're out here on a Sunday in Kensington, and it's cold. Are you homeless?
I am currently. I am trying my best to find another place with wheelchair access, which is not easy. In this area, almost everything has stairs, at least stairs up to the front door.
And I asked you about why you weren't put yourself in a shelter, and what was your reply to that?
In my condition, I am more susceptible to certain illnesses, and a lot of those illnesses are transferred very easily in those close quarters shelters. It's just too dangerous. It's very, very dangerous for me to pick up certain illnesses that are just, it's just too risky when you have that kind of close quarters transmission going on.
So where do you sleep?
Right now, I sleep outside of storefronts and things like that in areas that are as basically as sheltered as I can find. And as you see by the very large number of blankets I have, I basically chrysalis myself in the blankets to hold in the heat.
Survival tactics, right? So you basically carry everything on this wheelchair. Hold on, let this train go by. So you basically got all your belongings on your wheelchair.
I don't really have a choice. If you leave them places, they will disappear.
So how do you go about taking a shower and taking care of your personal hygiene?
Well, we call it a bird bath. Basically, you find a public bathroom somewhere and use wipes and soap and other things to basically just take a bird bath, wash certain areas of your body one at a time, over and over again.
I understand. What's the worst thing that has happened to you since you've been homeless in the streets of Kensington?
The worst thing, I would say, I'm not 100% certain what this man was trying to do to me, but there was a man that attacked me one night. He was trying as hard as he could to pull me out of the wheelchair. He had his arms around my rib cage. I really couldn't reach my blades that I have on me at the time. I ended up basically just doing what I could. I guess my arms had built up a lot of strength in the wheelchair. I just wrapped my arms around him and squeezed as hard as I could until eventually he actually passed out.
Wow.
My adrenaline was probably pumping that allowed me some extra strength to do that, but that's all I could think of to do, and luckily it worked, but that was very scary.
I can imagine, that's horrible, being in a wheelchair, not able to barely
I can't run, yes. I cannot
Right.
run. I have only two options in that situation, which is submit or fight. And of course, I'm not going to submit, so I have to fight.
Well, glory to God, you fought that battle and you came out of, a victorious champion.
Oh yes, I would never ever submit to anything like that.
What's a day out here in Kensington look like for you? A day in your life?
Basically, I wake up pretty early usually, either because it's cold or because there's activity in the area that I'm in and I need to relocate myself as to not be an inconvenience. Wake up early in the morning, go and post up somewhere near a place where I can get a hot breakfast. I always try to get eggs in the morning, get my protein fix so I don't drag ass all through the day. Once I do that, I go post up, try to get as much as I can because of course I have to change my bandages daily, all the medical supplies are extremely expensive. So I have to take care of that first, after which I take care of pain control needs and make sure then that I have dinner for the night and other supplies that I need, and basically just regiment out everything into small funds, one after another, until everything is covered and I can survive that day.
Do you feel any shame or guilt due to your drug use?
No, not at all. I'm not ashamed of it specifically because of the fact that when you are a chronic pain patient, you need pain treatment. It's just the way it is. That is a fact of life. Either you have to live in constant pain, which is impossible. You cannot live your life in constant pain all the time. It does not work.
I absolutely agree.
Yes. So honestly, I'm doing what I have to do to have good quality of life. And if anyone doesn't like it, they can kiss my ass.
What has your drug addiction taken away from you?
What mainly it's taken away from me is the qualities of life that you would live when you don't have to constantly pursue this. If I was getting proper pain treatment, as I should be getting, and I could just pick up my medications at the pharmacy and not have to worry about constantly searching around, I would have more time to spend with the people I care about. I would be able to pursue my hobbies more and just have a general better quality of life. It has actually been proven, due to studies that have been performed, that people that use opiates are model members of society as long as they have access to it. The only thing that causes crime with opiate use is when they do not have access to it and are forced to do things to get access to it.
Understood.
Like I said, I've been through years and years of pain treatment off and on. There was a point where I was so tired of taking the medications that didn't work that I stopped for about a month. At the end of that month, that is when I decided to try to kill myself. The pain was so intense, I could not take another day of it.
Yeah.
So I said after that, screw this. I'm going to make sure that I keep my pain under control however I have to, so I don't hate my life.
Okay, let's get off topic just to get to know you as an individual, all right? What is your favorite color?
My favorite color is purple. Always has been.
What are some of your favorite foods?
Oh, God. I am a old world Italian that grew up with people that cook old world Italian.
Okay.
I love traditional Italian pastas like spaghetti with olive oil and garlic, things like that. Cannolis are always my favorite. Any
good.
old world Italian. I haven't been able to in ages cook for myself, but my grandmother's 11-hour lasagna is one of our family favorites. We have to get up and start cooking at 7 a.m. to have dinner ready by 6 because we make the pasta, the marinara, everything by hand, and it is absolutely delicious at the end of it, even though the effort is so intense.
Okay. What are some of your favorite candies?
Oh, I'm a Reese's fanatic. Reese's, anything Reese's, I will eat it.
How about your favorite ice cream?
Oh God, I'm an ice cream snob. I'm constantly Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs.
Haagen-Dazs is one of my favorite, guys.
I am such an ice cream snob. Believe it or not, though, even at a couple of the smaller stores, the Crown Chicken and the Quick Stop, they seem to have a birthday cake flavor ice cream that is divine.
Happy New Year. That's awesome. What is your favorite cereal?
That's funny you ask. Me and my husband both are cereal fanatics. The two things that we cannot go without are cereal and ice cream. And we constantly argue because my favorite is Cocoa Pebbles, his favorite is Fruity Pebbles. So we always argue about which one of those pebbles we are going to get.
Okay. Do you have a favorite band or artist?
Favorite? It's more the type of music that's my favorite than any particular artist. I like anything that is in some way wholly unique. Most of what is on the radio these days literally sounds exactly the same to me. It always does. So artists that are very unique, like Mindless Self-Indulgence. Personally, I am a hardcore juggalette, love Insane Clown Posse. Always will. Because they are unique. Anything with a unique edge on it is good to me.
Okay, that's nice to hear.
Sagittarius, of course.
Sagittarius.
My sun sign is Sagittarius. My moon sign is Scorpio. So unfortunately, I have two of the most temperamental, angry signs back to back. But my Mercury is also in Sagittarius, so I'm a double Sag. So I am much more fiery.
Heard that. Okay, can you please tell us what is your favorite cartoon?
Favorite cartoon is definitely Rick and Morty. I have to love that. It's hilarious with a scientific edge, thank God. Anything that has higher intelligence to it is refreshing in today's world.
Do you have a spiritual or religious belief?
I am Wiccan. Actually, my entire family is old world Wiccan. We had family that died in the Inquisitions, in the Salem trials. We're old world witches, and we're actually ostracized because Italy, where my family is from, is originally Florence, the Florence area. It is highly, highly Catholic. It is the roots of Catholicism. So we were quite ostracized quite a bit due to the fact that we are old world Wiccans.
Where do you believe you'll go when you die?
I am a firm believer in reincarnation, especially due to the fact that molecular reincarnation is scientifically proven. It is proven that the molecules that exist in us existed in many others ages ago and will continue to be reincarnated into newer and newer life forms. So, I believe I will start a new life, possibly as something else, possibly somewhere else, possibly even somewhere else far away. But I do believe I will enter a new life at the end of this one.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Anything science. I was hardcore science, but of course I went into medical school due to the fact that I really wanted to be a doctor, not knowing at the time that my mental illness unfortunately would preclude me from being licensed.
So when you was a little girl, what do you want to become when you grow up?
Oh, always a doctor. I always wanted to be a doctor. I was fascinated by medicine, particularly human physical anomaly and diagnostics, mysteries, things that were medical mysteries just always fascinated me deeply.
When you look at yourself in the mirror, what do you see?
Basically, I see a warrior, a machine. It's no secret that my life is difficult, but thankfully my father built me into a serious machine. The way he raised me was excellent. Otherwise, I doubt I would be able to have passed through the things that I've had to pass through in my life.
Can you please tell us what does happiness mean to you?
Happiness basically means fulfillment, the ability to pursue what you want to pursue and live the way that you want to live, in comfort, in peace, and in happiness. So really, it just means the ability to fulfill all the things that you wish to fulfill in your life.
Awesome. And when you hear the word art, A-R-T, what is art to you?
Art is expression, the expression of anything that the person wants to express, and the way that they want to express, of course, can be anything from painting to performance, but the expression of something deep is art.
Okay, that's wonderful. Now, you say you have, okay, you know, America's Got Talent. This is Kensington Got Talent. Do you have any talent that we need to know about? Because I know you told me that you're a former photographer.
Yes, I actually took some photographs that ended up selling for quite a bit at one point. I have always been excellent with photography. I do have a bizarre skill that some people seem to think is actually a talent. I love to find skeletons of animals. If I find a skeleton of an animal that's completely intact, I will actually pick up the whole skeleton, clean and sterilize it, and then put it back together, try to put it back together exactly as it's supposed to be put, with small wires and model glue, to make these skeletal models that people seem to think are interesting.
It sounds interesting to me.
Between that and photography, I've been told that I'm an excellent photographer. I'd love to be able to get back into it at some point.
Hey, maybe one day me and you could do a collaboration, because I have another camera upstairs. Me and you could, when the weather starts getting nice, we can go somewhere, take some, beautiful photography together, because I love taking pictures myself.
That would be excellent. There's a series that I've wanted to do based on things I've seen in the city recently, basically an aftermath series,
Ooh.
Taking photographs of the aftermath of things that have happened.
I like that.
And see if people can perceive what could have happened to lead up to them.
Okay, excellent. So I'll definitely, stay in touch with you by God's grace. Are you out here all the time?
I am. I busted my ass to get a shitty dollar store phone so I would be able to be contacted, especially by my father.
Oh, that's awesome. So I'll definitely get your contact before I leave.
No problem.
So if you had 3 wishes in this world, what would your 3 wishes be?
Number 1 would be to not be in pain anymore. Number 1 wish. If I would have only one wish, oh God, it would be to be out of this horrific pain that I have to deal with constantly. It's horrible. Second wish would be to heal the idiocy in this world. I often am called an elitist for having these beliefs, but it is sad the way that subintelligence has just permeated the entire population to the degree that it has. It is almost impossible to find anyone to have an intelligent conversation with anymore. honestly. And let's see, the third wish. I think third wish, I'd want the power of manifestation, to be able to manifest anything.
Awesome. Do you have kids?
No, I do not. I do not have any children currently.
Do you stay in touch with your family?
With my father, absolutely. I contact my father as often as I can. I love him so deeply. And like I said, he's one of the few people I can have an intelligent conversation with. And when I don't know something,
Yes.
if I need to ask a question, 99% of the time, my father has the answer to it.
That's great. So if your dad was supposed to see this video, what message would you like to send to him?
Well, first, hi, Dad. Second, thank you. You really did a lot for me. I'm a warrior and a soldier because of you.
If you had a message to send to the world, what would your message be?
Educate yourselves, people, please. Open your minds. Read more. Get information. Learn things, please. Educating yourself is one of the best things you can do.
Okay, last question is, do you have any short-term goals? Like you have 3 short-term goals that you can name?
Oh, yes. Actually, right now, what I've been trying to work towards is getting into at least a small space that I can keep heated for the winter. Also, I need to resupply my my medical supplies cabinet is extremely low, so I have to make damn sure that I do that quickly. And like I said, I want to get a Sherry's breakfast today.
Yes, guys, we're going to get her some Sherry's breakfast.
I love Sherry's Diner. They got good breakfast.
That's awesome. Okay, we got Phoenix out here, guys. We want to tell her thank you so much for sharing her story with the audience. And I will continue to do follow-up on her because I want to do some photography with her one day, you know, to get her out there. So you guys show her a lot of support. We have some donations here for her. She can go through it and see which one she like. You want this emergency foil?
Oh, is that a Mylar?
I think so.
Oh, yes. These are excellent. These are wonderful. Actually, these things really are a lifesaver. These Mylar emergency blankets, people, they work.
Okay,
They work. If you're in a situation where it is freezing cold, windy, and you cannot get inside, having one of these can be a lifesaver. Keep them around.